What is up, everybody? Welcome back to another edition of the Sheehan Show. Me, Sean Sheehan, here on Sherdog.com. And today I'm bringing you a preview for PFL MENA 3. We have the semi-finals this weekend, which go down on the 27th of September over in Riyadh, Saudi Arabia. And we have a lot of very good fights. We have the 170 pounders, we have the 155 pounders, and the 145 pounders and 135 pounders. Also a lot of tournament fights going on. I'm going to pick you out a select few here over the next 15 minutes to talk about, and we will get into it here. But I've been a big advocate of PFL MENA, PFL Europe over the last while. I think they have produced so many good fighters. And not just produced good fighters, but like attracted good fighters, picked out good fighters, and I think the work that people behind the scenes are doing there has been absolutely fantastic. And I'm going to run you through some of those very good fighters here today, and we'll have a little bit of a chat about them. And why not? Let's start with the main event: Ayman Galal against Mohammad Alaqraa at 170 pounds. You've heard me talk about both of these guys before, but I suppose mostly Mohammad Alaqraa at 8-1, considering he's fought now 4 times in the PFL. Won last time out, obviously, against Mohsen. Lost the championship fight last year to Omar Al-Dafrawi, and beat Amir Fazli before that, and Youssef as well in his PFL bouts. Yeah, it was obviously a rematch with Omar Al-Dafrawi. He won a fight. They had UAE Warriors back in 2023, and Ayman Galal on the other side of it then, he fought Mohammadseifi to a close decision earlier on in the year. That fight was overturned, I believe, for a drug test failure, and he gets the place instead. Like, that was his only PFL fight today, and it's again a very, very close fight, but he's had a lot of a lot of setbacks, I suppose, in his career, and he's coming in here, I suppose, with a mission. But watching some of his fights and listening to the commentary as well, he's an experienced Sanda guy, so lots of stand-up, I suppose, in his past. We obviously would know him as well as Alaqraa, based on how many PFL fights Alaqraa's have, but like, he just, from watching his fights so far, he just stands in the middle, expends no energy, and then throws, first of all anyway, these vicious leg kicks. Absolutely vicious. Hits very hard when he decides to throw, but I feel like when you rely on your power to see you through, it's not always going to work, and that's going to be the case for him. He's a few knockouts in his career, but like, a guy who throws like that needs to knock someone out every time. So I feel like he needs just to up it a bit in terms of the amount he throws, because he's such a dangerous guy. And then Alaqraa on the other side of it, then he's kind of a very high hands, odd stance, like the complete opposite to Galal, the way he fights, I suppose, but always moving, good takedowns, well, good trips, very good ground and pound. He's a very nice counter jab and a front kick as well, but he does get hit. And that's the issue against Ayman Galal. If he does get hit, he will stay hit, because Galal hits so hard. So it's difficult for me to gauge, and I suppose this is my job, or maybe it isn't my job. My job is to tell you how it lines up. And for me, the gauge between where Galal has fought and where Alaqraa is at, like, Alaqraa, again, he moves a bit odd and all that, but now I think he has proven that it works at a level. Galal's game in the Sanda realm, in the stand-up realm, has proven it, but has it been proven in MMA yet? It hasn't, but he's very young in his career. That's not to say it won't. So looking forward to seeing where that goes and how it goes. But I'd have to pick Mohammad Alaqraa based on the experience, but I wouldn't rule Galal out whatsoever. The other 175 pound fight is down the card. It's Badreddine Diani against Amir Fazli. 2 names, if you listen to these shows, you've heard me say before. There's no There's no doubt about that at all. Like Fazli, one of these guys, throws a lot of wheel kicks, spinning kicks to the body, head down and leaps in with big power. And Diani, the other side of it, then a very exciting fighter, loose on the outside, fast and athletic. His hands are just magic. Like his use of range is very, very good. He catches people unaware. Like he's faster than he looks. He's one of those guys. Like, and his style is very, very hard to keep on top of. So these are both guys who are not easy to deal with. A lot of knockouts as well for Fazli. He beat Rostam Akman, the ex-UFC fighters. He fought Ian Gary as well before. These have actually fought before and went to a decision back in 2024. Diani actually won that fight, and Fazli's been in there again with Mohammad Alaqraa, who I just mentioned, so that might be another rematch if he was to win this. Diani then at 9-3, has that tad bit more experience, I suppose, but he's only fought once since the Fazli fight, whereas Fazli's fought twice, and okay, it's not too much, but in a year and a half or whatever, it's I suppose it's not a bad amount. But two exciting fighters, a very, very interesting fight, and I think a very interesting finale as well for whoever comes through both of those fights. Let's look next at the 155 pounders, because my Sheehan show PFL Europe Fighter of the Year, Mohsen Mohammadseifi, is fighting Mohammed Fahmi here, and it's a bit into the deep here for Fahmi. He's a southpaw, but kind of very good scrambles, not the best takedown defense in the world, but good takedowns himself. But Mohammadseifi, like I've written notes about him here, and I looked back at my past notes after watching a few fights again, and like before I written down like a very he reminded me of Hector Lombard. I'd said that before, but I think he's added a lot to his game. Like he carries such big muscle and everything like that, and he's power puncher, there's no doubt about it. But like he throws wheel kicks the odd time, but now he jabs behind it, and he throws combinations behind it, and added in more wrestling the more his game has gone on. And that win against George Aid, was it last year or was it the year before? Let me just look it up here. It was 2024. Like a talented striker like George Aid, that was the final last year. What a win that was! Like, and Souhil Tairi beating him as well was such a really, really good win. Like he's only losses in his career were very early. He fought Rangju, who's in the UFC now. He lost his first two fights in his career, took 2 years off, and is undefeated since then. And he's an older guy as well. I believe he's 36 years of age. So look, I heavily favour Mohammadseifi in this fight. I probably heavily favour him to win it altogether. But he's just one of those guys like you have to keep an eye on, because I think he'll win this. I think he'll go into the tournament next year at the weight class, and I think he could very well win that as well. He's so talented, there's no doubt about that at all. The other side of 155 pounds in is the aforementioned Souhil Tairi against Salah Hamli in a fight which again is guys both with a bit of experience around this scene, I suppose you would call it. Like Tairi has 15 fights now in his 34 years, 4 of which have been in PFL. Like he lost to Mohammadseifi, as I mentioned, and John Mitchell as well, but he won the 2 fights either side. That beat Amir, who's a good fighter, and Abdul Salim with a second round knockout earlier on in the year. Like some of the other people he's been in there with have been good too, like Bruno Carvalho, who beat Omar Hassan, been in there with Muhammad Yahya as well, who's a very, very good record. And then Hamli on the other side of it then, I suppose a slightly better record at 9-0, and looked, really good against Abbas Khan in that fight in May of this year. After coming over from he was in the War promotion before that, but two very talented guys. Like Hamli runs straight across and double legs you. Looks very good on top, great at taking it back, vicious ground and pound. Tahiri's going to have to keep it standing, I'm afraid, but he is a very good technical striker. Is Tahiri. Good jab, good high kicks, very good at adjusting between attacking and countering as well. Good takedown defense, and he'll need it here. But when he does get taken out, he throws up submission. So Hamli will need to be looking out for that. A guy who's obviously undefeated. Could jiu-jitsu be the thing to get him? I suppose we will see on that one. But for a guy like Saladin Hamli at at 9-0, 27 years of age. Again, it could be the year for him. He could be the breakout star in this division this year. So let's wait and see on that one. So let's talk about the 145 pounders. Again, two of my favorite guys to watch, Islam Reda and Taha Bendaoud. You know, two tough guys. You know, guys who you would tune in to watch, and I don't think there's any doubt about that. Like Reda is the Egyptian Zombies, his nickname, I believe, isn't it? You know, grappler, dives in for double legs, you know, throws big head kicks, old school kind of mad grappler who'll go for anything, force a scramble to get it down, you know, finds himself on the bottom the odd time too, and does go for takedowns like the last fighter I mentioned there, lots of arm bars and stuff. And in Taha, the other side of it then, like kind of, he has this weird two-hand front karate switch stance. Fighter gets taken down a bit, so Reda is definitely my favorite coming in here. There's no doubt about it. Very, very green. Looks like he has big power, and you know, at 5-0, he hasn't shown that yet, but he has shown the submissions are very, very good with him. His last two in a row were triangle chokes. So if Reda does get the takedown, you know, could he throw up an old triangle there and maybe put him in trouble with that? I suppose we'll see on that one. But like Reda, again, there's some very good guys on his radar or on his record so far. Like Amir Nasri was a great prospect, a 3-0. His opponent before that was a 5-0 prospect. So he fought Adam Miskini, who was 10 fights into his career at the time, and he's also, you know, been in there with Abdullah Al-Katani's. I know he lost that fight, but still to be in there against someone that good. Taha Bendaoud has just not that on his record yet. So I think the wrestling and the experience might just see my guy Islam Reda through there and that one. And the other 145 pound fight is Yanis Ghemmouri against Assem Ghanem. You know, obviously we remember Yanis Ghemmouri from his time in the UFC where he went 0-2. He was supposed to fight Caelan Akron, and that fight didn't end up happening. He fought William Gomis and Peyton Talbot and lost both of those fights, but very, very good record before that. Fought a lot in Brave and fought some good guys, like fought Rashid Haz over there, who I know is a really talented fighter, and won that fight. And actually, funny enough, he fought Ayman Ayub, who is headlining PFL Europe this weekend against Donovan Desmond. But this Assem Ghanem guy as well has had one fight so far, obviously, in PFL Europe, and looked good in that. Like a talented guy. There's no doubt about it. You know, Ghemmouri, you look at his game and you see that kind of front-leaning two-handed stance as well, like very odd, but it worked for him. You know, he can throw nice kicks from that position. Sometimes drops his hands on and he puts himself in real peril because of the way he kind of leans forward. Hands low and starts from the outside, you know, and throws big bombs. So, you know, Assem on the other side of it, then, like, great heart, goes for everything, you know, tires himself out nearly doing it. Undefeated, you know, very, very good grappler, better grappler, I would say, than Ghemmouri, but can he show it? He also throws big shots, you know, gets excited and awful. I remember saying it in the last preview, gets very, very excited and sometimes throws big shots. And sometimes it doesn't necessarily work out for him, but maybe it will here. Maybe it will here. And into the 135 pounders, Mokhtar Benassi against Nawras Akba is an interesting fight, as is Xavier Alaoui against Islam Youssef. First, to those two gentlemen, Xavier coming out of Canada, you know, 34 years of age, a lot of fights into his career. He's fought twice on PFL. He's fought in ACB as well. You know, he's been in there with Richie, has lost that fight unfortunately, but he won earlier on in the year, a good decision. He's a guy with a lot of submissions in his career and dangerous when the fight gets to the ground. You know, he's a very, very good guillotine and, you know, rear naked choke and things like that as well. And Islam Youssef, the other side of it then, is, you know, only 8 fights into his career, 6-2, but he's good submissions as well. But like he also can knock you out. I believe his last fight, I'm just looking at, was that flying kick in PFL Europe. So that was a lovely knockout there, you know. But he's only had that one fight in a big organization. All of his other fights were in a place called Evo Championship. So again, you would favor maybe Xavier there. He fought in UAE Warriors a lot throughout the years, and he has a lot of experience. So maybe he'd be the one to favor there in that one. But to me, the standout fight is Mokhtar Benkaci against Nawras Akbar. Benkaci, pocket fighter, but he defends very, very well. Like, he loves an elbow in the pocket, good takedown defense, attacks and counters from the pocket. One step closer than most fighters are. I've written in my notes here. And then Nawras Abzakh, I always pick up his name. Very good grappler, very fast on the feet. Like, he moves like a flyweight. Only, not how many fights in is he now? He's 13 fights into his career, 90 fights into his career, but again, only 2 fights in the PFL. Has a good few fights in places like UAE Warriors and things like that. A lot of submissions in his record. Very, very good. Very, very good submission fighter. Like, looks so natural on the ground. Great passer while still being very much in control. And one thing I've written about, I've said him in a preview before, but he's very, very good in side control, something which is more unusual, I suppose, in the game today. So, like, 2 very, very experienced guys here, I suppose, for a tournament, I suppose, which has a lot of maybe newcomers. And this is a very good fight, a very high level fight for it. And again, I'll be interested to see the betting lines here, and maybe we'll hold a pick till after that. But the grappling ability of Abzakh, maybe he's going to be the pick here. So there's a few other fights on the undercard as well. Ahmed El-Sisi's on it. He lost in the opening round. Al-Darbani as well, another guy, he's fighting Hussein Salam. That should be a good fight as well. And then there is a kind of a few younger lads on the main card as well. Malik Bashel against Ahmed Mustafa, one of them, Malik fighting out of Saudi Arabia. So I'm sure the home crowd will like that. But for now, that is your preview for PFL MENA 3. Check it out this weekend. My name is Sean Sheehan for Sherdog.com, and I'll see you all next time.